Hi there, in this video we're going to cover the most important question when it comes to recording music. What is a DAW? We all make music in so many different ways. Some people play instruments, other people sing, others write their music down and play it. What's important is that a DAW, which stands for a digital audio workstation, should have all the tools you need to create music. A lot of people start in the writing phase, so it's important that your DAW has a number of flexible tools. Other people may just jump in on the recording phase and record a part. In the production phase, we arrange the music so it all fits together. In the mix stage, we're adjusting audio levels to make sure it all sounds right. And then we're ready to share our music with the world. A digital audio workstation can be daunting the first time you load it up. So the most important thing to do is find a workstation that's easy to use. In this case, I'm using Cubase Elements 9.5 and I'm going to load in a very simple piano sound. Now I'm loading that sound through a virtual instrument which is contained inside of the software. Now it may sound stupid to load up a piano sound if you're thinking, well, I don't play the piano, but that's the best thing about all versions of Cubase. They come with the chord track. So now I'm just naming my tracks, which you can see fit inside the track list, and I'm grabbing a pencil and I'm just drawing in some crosses. Now these crosses represent chords and they're going to be our musical sentences or building blocks. I can click on the first one, select a chord, and now instantly I've already got a chord. I can use my mouse and the cursor keys to find some different chords, but that might still seem quite difficult and daunting if you're not used to creating musical sentences or phrases. That's why the circle of fifth is here to give you a helping hand. Watch how I choose chords that are close in proximity to each other. I'm using my cursor keys. And just like that, without any thought, we've got a musical sentence. Now we can copy and paste that musical sentence to stretch it out to be longer. There is no other DAW or digital audio workstation in the world that lets you write and create your own music like this. But it gets even better because over on the right-hand side, we've got the Media Bay, which is a library full of different types of sounds and MIDI loops. Now I can go into my library and define how I want to search for these different types of sounds, and I'm finding MIDI loops in a specific genre. I click on it to preview it. I can ask this MIDI loop to follow the chords that I've just drawn in, and I can drag it over and drop the MIDI loop straight into Cubase and so you don't need to play the piano or any other instrument. What I like about this digital audio workstation is you're still being original and you're being creative. This is an excellent way to overcome a creative block. By the way, down the bottom you can mix these sounds in the mix console. You can also go on to further edit these instrument sounds by opening up the instrument panel. Sonic SC3 has these really intuitive quick control knobs that we can use to get quick access to different parameters, so it helps us change the sound and mix and match it into our project. It's also really easy to completely change the preset and go with another sound. There's loads of sounds available for you to choose from. We can also open the instrument up and get the full view. I'm easily navigating through the different editing pages and I'm going to the final one where I'm going to add a master reverb just to give the sound some more space. So you can see we can also edit sound inside of each instrument that we're using. You can continue to build layer upon layer using these MIDI loops and everything will follow any changes that you make within the chord track. Nothing that we do here is final. We can double click on any event to edit it or change it down below in the lower zone. You can even bring the score up and change it using the score. I've called up the chord pads in the lower zone. I want to show you something really intuitive. I'm triggering these chords with my mouse and I'm using the handles below and to the side to change the color of the chord. Now I'm dragging the chord up and I'm dumping it on the piano track. And that chord is now the same chord as the last chord in the chord track. But watch what happens when I add a new chord. It's changed to follow the chord track. I can trigger these chord pads using any external MIDI device. Halion Sonic SE3, Groove Agent SE4 and Prologue come included with Cubase elements. Halion Sonic SE3 has a number of built-in instruments and Trip is one of those. Let's move over to drums. Right now I'm mixing a virtual acoustic drum kit. But if that's not your thing, then there's no shortage of electronic drum sounds. There's also patterns for loads of different genres of music which you can simply drag and drop into your project to keep producing. Speaking of production, how about we jump over and have a look at the VST amp rack? Now this comes with a number of different pristine amp simulations, and not everyone can afford to have the best cabinet mixed with the best speaker in the world, and even if you can, not everyone's got the space to be able to play it without annoying their neighbours. Cubase Elements 9.5 comes with incredible amp modelling, so you've got all your guitar bases covered. It even comes with its own boutique pedals, which you can add before or after the amplifier process. You can even choose which type of microphones you're going to use and where you place them on the actual guitar cabinet. And to top things off, it's got its own master EQ and tuner. Now it's a matter of hitting record. Right now I'm looping this guitar over and over and over again to try and find the right notes. Once I've found them, I can quickly edit, and that's another major advantage about a good digital audio workstation. I can also go through and look at all the takes that I did and choose the best take. So this is a really important thing about a DAW. Does it have the tools that allow you to go back and look at all the takes that you've recorded and then quickly edit them up into a part, or, as I'm doing now, I'm copying and pasting different takes into a number of different parts so I can make my sound even bigger. Now we can go back and we can change the type of guitar sound, or we can open up the channel strip, which is part of the mix console, to find a world-famous engineer's preset that's going to fit our mix. Let's go and take a look at something completely different. Right now I'm in the Kaleidoscope sound bank. This comes as part of the groundbreaking new sampler track, which is now included in Cubase Elements 9.5. Simply drag and drop the sound over, and that one sound is instantly tuned, pitched, and mapped to your MIDI keyboard. Now you can start using these different types of parameters to start manipulating the sound. I'm just changing the sound envelope, and when I'm ready, I hit record, and I can record a MIDI track using this sample sound that I've just created and manipulated. Now I'm okay playing the keyboard, you're breaking it down, but I'm pretty bad at singing. So I've taken a very simple vocal line recorded through a cheap microphone. I've added the pitch correction plugin over the top, and I'm connecting my external MIDI keyboard to the pitch correction software, meaning I can play a whole new vocal or create vocal harmonies using an external keyboard. That is really impressive. You can continue to morph and shape the sound using some of the creative plugins inside of Cubase Elements 9.5. When it's time to mix everything down, you can use the mix console to get access to really important mix attributes. For super precise control over volume, we can even automate different channels. Right now, I'm recording the movements I'm making on this one channel with my mouse. Now when I play it back, you'll notice it's replicating those movements that I recorded. You can also draw automation data or volume changes for almost anything in the project window using your mouse. Every plugin has an A/B comparison button, meaning we can have two different settings for each plugin that we have loaded. Each channel in the mix console can have up to 8 plugins. That's huge, and you can add over 40 different effects that come included with Cubase Elements 9.5. Let's look at the Arranger track. We can draw in events with our pencil like we did with the chord track, but now we can trigger each of these different events and move backwards and forwards between different spots in our song, so we're never defined to the actual final version of the track itself. Finally, it's easy to export your music to the world using the very simple export function in Cubase. You can even export to Wavelab for mastering, or you can export directly to your SoundCloud account. There's plenty of videos around me demonstrating all of the features that I've just shown you in the all-new Cubase Elements 9.5. Please subscribe to us on YouTube, like our videos, and leave us comments to show how you're being creative with Steinberg products. I'll catch you soon.